Hello, good evening. Welcome to another edition of Varsity Sports Live. Tom Neiman along with Jason and Dara. And we're getting through. There's some teams that aren't playing tonight. There's some COVID-19 going on in the schools in the Dakotas.
The last couple of weeks, we've getting more and more cancellations, but they're still playing at over a 90% clip of games. So just want to give a sigh of relief to all the ADs and all the principals and all the administrators who are making this thing work. And yes, there are going to be some hiccups, but
yeah, and the coaches and the players dealing with everything.
They're doing the best
and the parents and everybody else.
And doing the best they can.
We had some good games live tonight. We had T-Area and Madison in South Dakota. We had Bismarck High and Bismarck Legacy in North Dakota. That was an entertaining game. We'll get to those highlights in a minute. You were out at Roosevelt and Harrisburg tonight, the unbeatens in the big schools in South Dakota.
Yeah, I was looking forward to seeing these two quarterbacks who have really risen to the top of 11 AAA, and they didn't disappoint. But there were a lot of other elements in that game that threw me for a little bit of a loop. Roosevelt looked really good.
Yeah. Let's get to the scores as the Riders stay unbeaten at 5-0 as they beat Harrisburg tonight 46-21. Got some highlights of that one coming up in a bit. Washington, slow start. Stevens had them down early, but the Warriors come back and win 35-14. Washington gets to 3-2. O'Gorman on the road to Rapid City Central was 44-0 at halftime. 51-8 is the final. Tegan Schlimgen, huge night for the O'Gorman quarterback. We'll show you that one coming up as well. Yankton and Mitchell go to overtime. The Bucks with a late field goal to tie it up, and then they win it in OT.
Stay with us because we've got that game-winning score, and we've got some post-game sound from the players at Yankton, so really excited to have that for you.
So Yankton is 5-0. So is Brookings. Bobcats over Douglas tonight, 48-6. Pierre put up 79 on Spearfish tonight. Seth Hamilton, 4 touchdown passes for Spearfish.
Not quite 100 points like last time.
McGuire Rasky had 6 touchdowns for the Governors. 79-28 final there. Sturgis knocks off Huron 21-19. Tigers fall to 2-3, and Sturgis 2-3 on the season as well. In Class A, this was our live game tonight. T-Area stays unbeaten, 4-0 now. They beat Madison tonight 34-14. Highlights coming up in a bit. Del Rapids wins again, Jandy, and they look tough in Class A.
Tri-Valley has been keeping games close, but they only have 1 win on the year to show for it. Really not a bad outcome to only lose by 20 to one of the best teams in 11A.
Canton is in the top 5. They were 1-2 going into this game, but they beat Lennox tonight 19-6, so the Seahawks even out at 2-2. Dakota Valley, late 2-point conversion. They beat West Central 15-14. Rough night hanging on to the football for the Trojans. Highlights of that one coming up as well. Sioux Falls Christian knocks off Vermillion 33-23. Vermillion's
they've been hanging around
some of these bigger schools and in their own class as well. Winner and Mount Vernon-Plankinton. This game has been postponed and pushed to Monday now. Timberlake, Lemmon-McIntosh. We got some highlights of this one coming up from Lemmon.
34-0 now, by the way.
The Cowboys up 34-0 with just a couple of minutes left there. And Platte Geddes over Wolsey-Wessington tonight. The Black Panthers get to 5-0. We've got some highlights of that as well. In North Dakota this evening, or this was actually Thursday night, Mandan over Dickinson 18-8. Take a quick look at that here in a moment. Minot and Bismarck Century are going to play on Saturday. This will be the first game in 3 weeks for Bismarck Century. Kate Garcia and those guys, they've had some games postponed and things like that, so they're ready to get back at it.
And that's on Midco SN, so tune in tomorrow for that.
1:30, I believe, is the kick on that for Bismarck Century and Minot. Demons get to 4-0 over Bismarck Legacy. This game was on Midco tonight. Lots of highlights coming up. Big night for the Bismarck running game in that one. Valley City and Jamestown. Jamestown is 4-0 on this season as the Blue Jays beat Valley City tonight 36-8.
Ty Monson, 4 touchdown passes, and he ran one in. Big night for the Blue Jays.
In 2A as well, the Burros are 4-1. They beat Wahpeton tonight 41-14. Central Cass, the Squirrels get to 3-1 as they beat Devils Lake tonight 30-0. Highlights of that one eventually here this evening. Thompson is 4-1 in Class A. The Tommies 46-6 tonight over Northern Cass. Lisbon and Oaks. Big night for Hunter Schultz for Lisbon. We'll get some highlights of this as well. 28-7 the final there. Lisbon is 5-0 on the season in Class A. Area-Edmore-Munich is 5-0, or excuse me, they get to 6-0 with that win tonight, 47-12. Highlights of that. Highlights as well from Grafton coming up 41-8 tonight over Harvey-Wells County. Also in Class A, Velva stays unbeaten, 38-0.
Big night for Gage Florence. 3 touchdown runs, caught a touchdown, and Tyson Tomlinson with 2 more touchdown runs. So they ran it up on the Lakers.
Yeah, they're 5-0, not 38-0, but they win 38-0. Shiloh Christian over Killdeer. First loss of the season for Killdeer.
That's a big win for Shiloh.
9-man tonight. Finley, Sharon, Hope Page on the road at LaMoure-Litchville-Marion. LaMoure scored 72 points last week, 76 on the board tonight for the Lobos. Highlights of that one coming up as well. Cavalier is 6-0 in 9-man football, 56-20 tonight over North Star. St. John wins the Horse Collar Bowl tonight, 50-24.
They ran for 387 yards and 5 touchdowns as a team. I think you deserve a win when you do that.
St. John is 6-0. So is Surrey, the Mustangs. 28-6 tonight over Ray Powers Lake, who was also undefeated going into that game. Highlights of that one coming up in a moment. Kidder County, 70 on the board tonight. Kidder County gets to 5-0. And Linton, 38-6 tonight over Beach. And some highlights here in just a moment, Jamie.
Yeah, time to dive into some action in North Dakota. And there were some good games starting with the big schools, and really ones that we were looking forward to see, and especially in the WDA.
Jody Norstedt was on the road tonight in Bismarck to see Bismarck and Bismarck Legacy, the game we had live here tonight on Midco Sports Network. Bismarck High 3-2 all time against Legacy, and Legacy beat Bismarck last year, but not to be tonight. Clay Phelan to Max Barrett there to get it started for Legacy. They had the lead, but then Jack Steckler goes 40 yards here. Connor Hedges out there blocking in front for the Demons, and they just blocked it up all night for these guys. Isaac Hoos had a huge night on the ground behind that offensive line. Demons go up 14-6. Phelan to Nick Kupfer. It's pass interference, but we'll let it go. And then they touchdown here to Brady Berman. And it's 14-13. Bismarck still in the lead. And then Hoos, again, that's his third of the, second or third of the evening. Made it 21-13. He had a bunch of them. Legacy gets in to make it 21-20, so they keep it tight.
Yeah, but really, when the ground game gets going like Bismarck did, they controlled the clock. But give the Demons, or give Legacy some credit. They kept fighting back.
Yeah, they did keep coming back. Feeling the Kupfer there to make it 28-27. But then Hoos, again, he had 5 touchdowns on the night for Bismarck. This is Gunnar Swanson, goes up, picks that off. Almost returned it for a touchdown. And here's the 5th touchdown of the night for Isaiah Hoos. And then one more score for the Demons. That is Brant Kringle. They give it to the fullback on the dive there. He goes in for the score. 48-27 is the final. And Bismarck on the ground, he had 500 total yards, 382 of those on the ground.
Yeah, that's how you get it done. He's in the running for a game ball, and we've got Jody Norstedt, who is calling the game, wrapping it up.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, joined by Isaiah Hoos, who had a huge night. Nearly 200 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns. Isaiah, you guys knew this was a big game coming in, going against a Legacy team that you knew would be out for blood after the way they lost last week. What was kind of the tone that you guys wanted to set tonight?
Well, we just remembered last year they put the hammer down on us, and we just wanted revenge, and Coach just told us to go out there and battle hard and just make it a close game. And yep.
You guys were able to rack up 500 yards of offense in this one. I think it was almost 380 rushing yards, and I just saw the smile on your face. What leads to that? I mean, the big guys up front were doing a nice job for you.
Oh, God, for sure. Those guys, they're so talented. They're the key to this offense and rushing, and those guys go out there every play and just work their butts off and make their blocks, and they're just awesome.
I look at you. You've gotten a lot bigger since last season when you were a sophomore. What did you kind of put maybe your focus on in the offseason to try to get better for this year?
Weight room, 100% weight room. I put on 20 pounds since wrestling season, just trying to just get big for football. And
you've already experienced a bye week. Now you have another bye week. What are those like now in this weird year?
They're crucial. Just to get a rest weekend and recover and just practice, get our mojo going.
Well, congratulations on the win. Now
Thank you.
4-0. Isaiah Hoos and the Bismarck Demons guys rolling along here to start the season. Back
Appreciate
to you.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. He's almost as big as Jody in those the arms, but
I think that weight room session really helped Isaiah. And congratulations on the 4-0 start.
Bismarck at Minot coming up next week. Mandan and Dickinson. This was a game on Thursday night in Dickinson, and they had lost 3 in a row, their last 3 to Mandan. Mandan trying to turn it around after losses to Bismarck and Century in the last couple of weeks. Trey Teets on the score there for the Braves to get them started, and then Garrett Schaefbauer up the middle for 9 yards. And the Braves out to the early lead, and Dickinson had some issues on special teams. Aaron Grubb on the play there for Mandan and the safety, and then Grubb again at the safety, gets through blocks. The kick there coming up the middle, and Mandan wins this one 18-8 is the final as the Braves even out at 2-2 on the season, and Dickinson drops to 0-4.
Yeah, Mandan getting a win after a couple losses in a row. That's going to boost their confidence as they move on.
All right, let's go to Class A in North Dakota. Westhope-Newbrg-Glenburn taking on #1 Langdon-Edmore-Munich. Langdon, North Dakota, 16 miles from the Canadian border up there, and these guys are good. There are 4 Romfos on the team, and you'll see 3 of them in the highlights. Primarily here, you got Simon Romfos, number 8. He's the quarterback. Grant Romfo, they are the twins. And they were scoring all over the place. That's Tucker Welsh with the first touchdown of the game for the Cardinals as they go up 8-0. And then you got Grant Romfo, 6'2", 190 pounds, bowling his way in there, 16-0. Langdon-Edmore.
Yeah, they're the undisputed best team in Class A for a reason. And, yeah, they rely a lot on Romfos.
Romfo. Langdon-Edmore-Munich has won 31 straight games now, including this one tonight. 47-12 is the final. Their last loss was in the state championship back in 2017. But the Romfos all over the place. Simon Romfo, another one of the young Romfos, had a pick 6 as well. 40-0 at halftime, and 47-12 is the final in this one. Staying in Class A, Oaks and Lisbon. Oaks 3-0, Lisbon 4-0. Both of them 3-0 in the region, however. Oaks has been scoring a lot of points lately, but Lisbon holds them down tonight. All Lisbon in the first half. It was 22-0 Lisbon at halftime. Oaks does come back here, and Garrett Neal is going to end up with a touchdown, but again, Lisbon got a Jordan Sowers touchdown in the first half. They got a Hunter Schultz touchdown in the first half, led at 22-0. Oaks does come back and make it 22-7 on the little sneak there by Neal, but Lisbon at home behind a big night from Hunter Schultz, 196 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns. The Broncos are 5-0 on the season. They've only allowed 20 points in the first 5 games.
And now they control really their own destiny in Region 1 as they sit alone at the top of the standing.
And a game against Thompson coming up next week for Lisbon. Still Class A, and Harvey-Wells County on the road at Grafton. Harvey-Wells County's won its last 2 against Grafton, but that did not happen tonight. Opening drive of the night for the Spoilers. Landon Wojnarowicz to Alex Ibanez for the first score of the evening. And Grafton goes up 6-0. And then the ensuing Hornets drive here. Isaac Freeze rolls, and it's into the hands of Wojnarowicz to spoil that drive.
Good one.
Grafton still up 6-0.
You're pretty funny, Tom.
Grafton, be quiet. Big run by Edgar Rios. Put Grafton inside the 5, and then Cody Keeley runs it up the gut there. And the Spoilers go up by 2 scores. And again, Grafton, a 3-game winning streak coming into this one. Harvey-Wells County trying to punt it deep in their own territory. That's Edgar Rios with the block, the scoop, and the score. Puts them up by 20 at the time. And Grafton goes on to roll tonight over Harvey-Wells County. 41-8 is the final as the Spoilers get to 5-1 on the season.
Yeah, they're going to have a tough game next week against Westhope-Newbrg-Glenburn. That should be good.
All right, lots of points in 9-man this year in North Dakota. A lot of them by LaMoure-Litchville-Marion. And they were at home tonight against Findlay Sharon Hope Page. LaMoure 5-0 coming into this one. And Corbin Potts to Colton Ness.
Look at that move back up the middle for Corbin.
LaMoure just getting started on the night. Same connection here. That's a great throw from Potts to Ness. Puts them up by 2 scores early, and then Potts not to Ness this time, but another really good throw on the post to Tate Martin, who hauls that in and speeds in. 22-0 LaMoure, and just getting started
We're
again.
Still in the first quarter here.
They
Tom.
scored 72 points last week against Hankinson. And the Lobos 76-8 tonight to get to 5-0.
First 4 drives,
6-0 actually.
Yeah, and first 4 drives, 4 touchdowns. They put this thing out of reach quickly.
Let's go to Surrey. Mustangs hosting Ray Powers Lake. Both of these teams unbeaten so far in 9-man, and there's just a lot of defense right here. There were some points scored, but how about some D? Ray Powers Lake on 4th down there, but the Mustangs with a stop, and then Tyson Engett with an interception for Ray Powers Lake. To keep it scoreless early, the pitch is picked up there by Tylen Scheig. And more trouble for the Surrey offense. Jason Nelson there. Tough start for both teams. They do get it figured out in this one, and Surrey improves on their best start in school history. They came into this game with a 5-0 record. They get to 6-0, 28-6 the final tonight as Surrey off to its best start.
Give some credit to the defenses here. Those turnovers were tough turnovers, but there were a lot of mistakes in this one.
All right, Beach at Linton tonight in 9-man. Linton had their game postponed by the pandemic last week.
You got to guard the quarterback, guys.
Lucas Schumacher walks right in, high step, 6-0 lead after a failed 2-point conversion there. But beach ball, 3rd and long. Tevin Dietz, and that is Justin Chatasik with the interception for Linton. And then the Lions turn that into points. Trey Jacob reaches that over the goal line. Lions convert, or cannot convert. Still 12-0 though, Linton. And then get to the second quarter here. Lions back in the red zone. Schumacher dropping back. Landon Bosch hauls that in to make it a 3-possession game before halftime. And Linton goes on to beat Beach tonight. 38-6 is the final in this one.
Well, the Squirrels were ready to take on Devil's Lake in some AA action. Homecoming for Central Cass. Early in the second, Central Cass lined up to punt on 4th and 21. They're doing a fake on 4th and 21, Tom. Big play right there. Jake Deutsch tiptoes the sideline, breaks a tackle, and finds his way to the end zone. 8-0 Squirrels. That takes some squirrel nuts to get that one done. Then with 3 minutes in the half, it's Mazzo to Deutsch connection once again. He lets it fly, and Deutsch gets it all the way down to the 3-yard line. 66-yarder connection right there. 2 plays later, Owen Wiersma punches it in, and 16-0 Central Cass takes the lead. Let's stay here for some second half action. This is getting good. 3rd quarter, Wiersma gets the handoff.
Did he not go down there?
Somehow doesn't get tackled. He turns that loss into a 39-yard run. Crazy gains for Central Cass. 22-0 on this touchdown, and that deserves a little dance, Tom. A little dance. There we go. Yeah, there is the little dance. I knew we were going to get one. And then a few minutes later, Wiersma gets the ball again, sheds the tackles once again, and even gets his face mask tugged. Doesn't matter. It's the sophomore's 3rd TD of the game. They take a 28-0 lead and a convincing win for the Squirrels. Let's hear from Central Cass after the game.
I'm feeling great. You know, this team had come out here and we competed, and we let everyone did their job, and not one person was left behind. We worked as a team.
That was nice. I'll tell you what, though, they made a lot of plays out of nothing, and even though they had the shutout there, it took a lot of fortune for them to do what they did tonight. But good job by Central Cass to win another one.
Squirrels get to 3-1
Yep.
on the season in 2A in North Dakota. All right, South Dakota highlights. When we come back, we had Stevens at Washington, Roosevelt, Harrisburg, Mitchell, Yankton, all coming up.
Varsity Sports Live on Midco Sports Network is presented by Farmers Union Insurance, Avera Orthopedics, and South Dakota State University.
Welcome back to Varsity Sports Live. And Harrisburg-Roosevelt was the big matchup tonight, Jandy. The unbeatens in the big school class in South Dakota. And
the big difference
was it a good game or not? You were out
Well, the
there.
big difference was Roosevelt had a much tougher schedule coming into tonight. This was the first big test for Harrisburg. Yes, they did beat Washington earlier, but they hadn't played any of those top 4 teams. I wanted to see how they reacted under pressure. And Roosevelt got off to a pretty good start, Tom.
Yeah, they got off to a great start. At Harrisburg tonight.
Yeah, they're ready. Coming out of the tunnel.
Riders got some swagger.
Who shot those? Oh, that's great.
Well done.
There's Joe Turry. They came off of a great field position with a great punt return by Tucker Large. Take the lead early on, and then Jacob Knuth goes deep. But look at this. Stay with the ball, Tyler Feldkamp. He forces the fumble after a nice gain by Harrisburg. And Tyler Feldkamp was the theme tonight all over the field. Defense, offense, special teams. They turned that into 3 points with Bennett Yellowbird kicking in the field goal. They're up 10-0 early. And then guess who again?
Feldkamp.
You got it, Tyler Feldkamp, but ran in by Caden Frick. They went for 2 on this one, and they made it. And they had a nice little cushion going into halftime. Tyler once again catching one, getting down inside the 10. They cap it off with another touchdown before half to Joe Turry, his second. And yeah, it was all Roosevelt in the first half. I didn't leave though, Tom. I decided to stay.
25-0 is the start in this one for Roosevelt, though.
They came right out and did the same thing in the third quarter. This time, Tyree Nave running one in. And then Harrisburg said, you know what, let's get back into this game. And they took it upon themselves, getting down the field. They gave it to Jack Tygan near the goal line to get their first score of the game. And then they didn't quit. They kept on coming at you. This one, Jacob Knuth, after he took a shot in the arm, he was able to put a perfect shot out for, I think that's Lincoln Carter, if I remember right.
Lincoln Carlson, yes.
Carlson. And Knuth playing through some bruising and some bumps and bruises, but Roosevelt ended up polishing it off with a Presley Johnson touchdown. By the way, Harrisburg got within 11 late in the game. And then the big sack here by Sam Coles. All of our condolences go out to Sam Coles' family. They lost his dad this week, and it was a rough week, but he decided to play. And just got to dedicate this one to Sam and his family. But Roosevelt, you know, they got out early, and they punched it home late, but it was Harrisburg who didn't quite back down. And after the game, we caught up with Talon Ashley, a sophomore quarterback. He necessarily didn't throw for a ton of yards, but he helped guide the team to a win.
It's a big game, and you know that going into here, and they're a really great team. So you just got to come prepared, and you got to be ready. And they have a fantastic defense, fantastic offense, and we got to work hard, and they worked hard, but I feel like we had a little more, and it showed, and I'm just glad we could win.
Yards and the numbers were not that far apart.
No.
At the end of the game.
Special teams was the difference.
Yeah.
There was punt returns. There were a kick return. There was the block punt. There was a lot of field position stuff going on in this game that really gave the advantage to Roosevelt, but no quit in Harrisburg.
Yes, but Roosevelt with Toure and Nave on the ground. Wes Johnson had a touchdown catch. Feldkamp. All those guys. It's a pretty impressive Roosevelt team right now.
Too tough to shut down that many weapons, but like I said, I was impressed by the way Harrisburg didn't lay down.
All right, so 5-0 there for Roosevelt. Harrisburg's first loss at 4-1. O'Gorman was on the road tonight out in Rapid City, taking on the Cobblers.
Yeah,
and Tegan Schlingen went nuts in the first half.
Yeah, nice little 33-yard hookup right there with Sam Stuckel, and then he finishes off the drive to David Alpers. Yeah, nice job. He came over from Roosevelt last year, gives him another weapon on offense. Nicole Meisman, the trouble started early. He recovers it on the 2, but that took him out of any type of field position, and O'Gorman came back strong. Hit Harry Huners, who jukes his way for a touchdown. 14-0 lead for O'Gorman. Cobbler's kind of stuck in a hole, and doesn't make it any better when you continue to make mistakes like this one. Not Cole and Meisman's fault, but looks like a carbon copy, doesn't it? Another good field position for Schlimgen and the Knights. And Teagan back on track. Nice little hookup with, I believe that's
Bo Beavers. Yes.
Bo Beavers. He can do more than wrestle. He can catch touchdowns. Knights stayed on a roll in their next possession. Finding Sam Stukel this time. Good blocking upfield. Get used to that, guys. 4th touchdown in a row. And it was kind of the snapping problems tonight for Central that continued to put them in trouble. A safety right there makes it 30-0. And right away after they got the possession, once again, Schlimgen doesn't waste any time. Finds another of his receivers, Zach Riddle. 40-yard touchdown, up 37-0. And they pretty much had it in hand, but Schlimgen, like you said, he hasn't had a lot of passing success this year. Well, he was wide open this game, and he let her fly. David Opper for 2 touchdowns on the night. This is another one.
Schlimgen had 6 touchdown passes in the first half, and it was 44-0 at halftime, 51-8 final. Cobblers stay winless, but Schlimgen and the Knights get to 2 and 3, and they've got Washington coming up next. Rapid City and Rapid City facing each other next weekend, Stevens and Central. Speaking of Stevens, on the road on the other side of the state of Washington tonight. Washington at 2-2 coming into this one. Stevens at 0-4. Uriah Glynn, though, had a nice game on the ground for Stevens. Gets him out to a 7-0 lead. Zach Burgers.
A lot of turnovers in this first half.
Interception there for the Warriors, and that turns into a Max Thompson to Josh Piper touchdown. Piper had a big night.
Piper, a couple touchdowns. He didn't play last week, made a big difference to get him back in on the offense. And again, turnovers were the problem in this first half for both teams. Another fumble recovery for Stevens. They marched it all the way down the field, and their new quarterback, Joe Weber, trust me, I caught it at the very end of the play, didn't punch it in for a touchdown. And they had the lead going into halftime, but second half, it ended up going all Washington. And they were not able to run the ball very much tonight. Tyus Hansen out due to an injury. He could be out for close to a month now. But I'll tell you what, they got together and played much better in the second half.
Yeah, Stevens was up 14-7 at halftime. Randolph Kapai had a pick 6 for Washington
pick this year
as they came back. Big numbers for Thompson. And again, Piper with 7 catches and 2 touchdowns as Washington gets to 3-2 on the season. All right, in Class A, Yankton, one of the unbeatens left at 4-0, taking on Mitchell tonight. Colonel's coming in at 3-1, and this game comes down to the wire and then some. Mitchell's got that ground game, and a little heave here, though.
Who caught this?
I think this is a Mitchell completion. Tucker Dillhauer.
Yep, it's a Mitchell completion.
I think Riley Johansson. I'm not sure who comes down with that there.
It is Riley, yeah.
It leads to a Josh Grostadier touchdown. Junior running back for the Colonels had a big night with a handful of scores. And anyway, Mitchell out to a 6-0 lead. And actually went up 12-0. Grostadier had a couple of early touchdowns, made it 12-0. Yankton got a pick 6 to get back in at 12-7. There's Grostadier's second touchdown, however. And again, they led it 12-0, and Yankton came back, got a defensive touchdown. Just before the half, though, Yankton driving. And they will get a Trevor Fitzgerald score right here. And Yankton back in the lead, 14-12 at halftime. That's actually his second touchdown. Later in the third quarter, Fitzgerald made it 21-18. And they get down to it here. Grostadier scored his 4th touchdown. Mitchell went up 24-21. That is Trevor Paulson with a field goal from 30 yards out as time was running out in regulation. Tied it up at 24. Bucks hold the Colonels in overtime, and then Corbin Solar right there with the game-winning touchdown in overtime. And they go back and forth in this one, and Yankton pulls it out 30-24. So the Bucks stay unbeaten on this season.
we didn't see a lot of Parker Phillips highlights from Mitchell. He did play. He got 79 yards, but that's a pretty good job of containing him. And for them to go out and win like this, you can tell the Bucks were excited after the game.
Just called the play, and I kind of just went with it. I didn't really think about it too much, and I just let it happen, and it happened. So I'd say that's just all just being a team together. We don't fold when we're down, and when we're up, we keep the momentum going. So that's pretty much it. It's just us being a team.
Got to like Corbin Solar. He didn't play at all last year due to injury, and he's having a lot of fun this year.
Mitchell, some missed extra points, hurt him tonight. Might have had that game in regulation, but Yankton stays unbeaten at 5-0. Mitchell plays Brookings next week. Brookings won tonight as well, so Brookings still 5-0.
I believe we have that on Midco SN if you want to check out Mitchell and Brookings next week.
Outstanding. We had this one on TV here tonight. T-Area and Madison. T-Area at 3-0, kind of the class of Class A right now, along with Del Rapids. Austin Lake, 82 yards. He had 109 yards on the ground in the first half.
That's a dimension he's really brought to the table this year that we didn't see much from him last year. He's really their most explosive player in the offense this year.
Nate Ricky to Carter Bergheim there, though. They tied up at 7-7 as Madison, they got hurt by some turnovers in this game, but they were right in it.
Yeah, I went to practice on Monday, and Nate Ricky was in the boots. For him to be able to come out and make plays like that, that was great, but you're right. They had a lot of hiccups on the way.
T's next drive, though. Lake sets up, finds Cade Schenzel. That was the only completion for T in the first half in the passing game, but it goes for a touchdown. And they go up 14-7 at halftime.
Then the defense really heated up for Madison. For T, and then the running game, of course, is their staple.
Yeah, Caden Johnson with a touchdown there. He had a big night, made it 21-7 Titans. And then Lake to Braden Beach. Austin Lake going to his left. Sets up and throws a nice ball from there. 28-7 at that point. Ricky comes back, goes here to Logan Albee. And this goes 69 yards, cuts the lead in half. But just not enough time left, and Madison falls at home. T-Area 34-14. Caden Johnson with a late touchdown there for T as well. But Lake, Johnson, and Weber all 100 yards plus on the ground for the Titans. Yeah. They had 365 yards rushing.
That's getting it done. And after the game, we talked to the T-Titans who were hungry just to play after sitting out last week.
We knew that they were going to be blitzing a lot, so you just know our line. I mean, they were tackling us in the backfield a lot, but, we just said, we're a good team. We can do this. We just needed that fire to get going in the second half.
This is going to give us a lot of momentum. With that off week, it was weird because I haven't had one in all of my years of playing, so it kind of slowed us down. But now that we got this win against Madison on the road, I feel like we're really going to keep rolling with this and keep that fire going.
It just shows how much work that we put in during this offseason and how much our guys are dedicated to this game and how much, we want to show that we are one of the best teams in the state, But it was a statement game for us.
Good for them to get on a roll away from T, playing some good away games. By the way, that was Garrett Colbeck, Austin Lake, and Caden Ellingson from T, who we just heard from.
T's at home against Lennox. T still plays at Sioux Falls Christian. And then they play Del Rapids, T and Del Rapids in the last regular season.
Potential 1 versus 2 to end up the regular season. That'll be fun.
All right, Canton and Lennox tonight. Jandy, take it away.
The old Black and Blue Bowl, a rematch of last year's title game. A lot different look to it this year. And Seth Peterson finds Peyton Ayan for a nice little game there. And then Luke Richardson gets a nice run around the edge and turns it upfield for a touchdown. Wasn't a ton of scoring in this game, but Lennox played that run game, and Seth Peterson, who's been the quarterback so long there, gets one for a keeper for a touchdown, and they're up by 6 at that point. Going to find Luke Richardson once again. Nice little juke move to get to the outside and powers it home. Lennox played some tough D in this one. It wasn't all Canton all game long, but they did score on that drive, and Luke Richardson pulls away for another touchdown that would put them up 12-0. Couldn't hit on either conversion. In the end, Canton found a way to get their 3rd touchdown of the game in the second half and took a 19-0 lead. But I'll tell you what, Canton has been playing really good against some really good teams. Didn't necessarily pull away from Lennox like a lot of people thought. They're going to need to continue to find a way to generate more offense to compete in 11A, but still a good win for the Seahawks.
Yeah, you don't want to play Canton right now.
No.
Yeah.
Or at the end of the season, you don't want to play them.
All right, Vermillion, Sioux Falls Christian. What do you got on this one?
I'm not sure what we got on this one, but we've got two teams in 11A who are not ranked, but both kind of in the middle, in the thick of this. And last week we saw Sioux Falls Christian, not die and stay in a close battle and almost came back and beat Dakota Valley. And Vermillion's been in the same boat all year this year, where they've been close week in, week out, but can't get a key victory. Sioux Falls Christian got up early in this one. Another look at Sioux Falls Christian, and always running. Take one to the outside. Doesn't quite get in for Sioux Falls Christian, but they would take the lead in this one, 33-23. And like we said, Vermillion playing tough all season long, but can't get that key victory. I wonder if Sioux Falls Christian belongs in that discussion in that second tier in 11A. They're going to be able to prove it here over the next couple weeks when they get games against teams like T-Area, like some of the top teams.
All right, Chargers 2-2 on the season now after the 33-23 win tonight over Vermillion. Dakota Valley and West Central staying in Class A.
Yeah, then Dakota Valley just moves into the top 5. West Central just moves out of the top 5. And Dakota Valley uses that 2-quarterback system where they will snap it sometimes to Kobe June directly, and sometimes they will go with the passing offense. And this time, they got out to a nice little early lead with Kobe June running one into the corner. But West Central, they had that ground game going tonight. There was a lot of turnovers in this one too, Tom. There were 3 fumbles in the first half by West Central, but somehow they tie it up at 7 right there.
Ryan Healy touchdown run there to make it 7-7, and then Justin Zerpel on the sneak. West Central up 14-7, but Dakota Valley, that was Caden Hall with an interception late in the first half.
That was big. That was a big field position momentum changer because it really felt like West Central had this game. And look at this, a little extracurricular. That'll cost them.
West Central still up 14-7, but Kobe June comes out of the pile there and gets out by himself and scores to make it 14-13. So what do?
You go for 2, of course. Well, when you have Kobe June, you go for 2.
June with the go-ahead 2-point conversion, 15-14. And then Dakota Valley gets a 4th down stop here to seal the deal. And the Panthers go to West Central and win 15-14 with that late touchdown by June and the 2-point conversion to get him to 3-2.
2 touchdowns for June and the 2-point conversion. He put his team on his shoulders, and if it wasn't for the turnovers, West Central really felt like the better team tonight. But between the turnovers and not being able to stop them in the crunch time, they just couldn't pull it off.
Bonus 9-man coverage, Jandy.
Yes, love it.
Platte Geddes 4-0 in 9AA. Wolsey-Wessington 4-0 in 9B. And for Platte Geddes, that's Jackson Newman down to the 4-yard line, and then Kelby Vanderwerf, a little flip there to Grayson Hansen, or the other way around. I'm not sure which way they did it there.
I'm pretty sure that it was Vanderwerf to Hansen.
All right, 8-0, Platte Geddes in the lead. Wolsey-Wessington, Corbin Harmeyer, 20-yard scamper there, and then he takes it in on the sneak. So it's an 8-6 game.
It's a big test for both teams here. 9B, number 1 is Wolsey-Wessington. Platte Geddes ranked in 9AA, and I'll tell you what, Platte Geddes, they came out with a chip on their shoulder tonight in homecoming.
Hansen there with a touchdown, 15-6 at halftime, and Platte Geddes does go on to win it 34-22. So the Black Panthers get to 5-0.
That's a big win for Platte Geddes, a confidence booster in 9AA, where they feel like, maybe they can compete with the best teams in 9AA now.
Let's finish it up in Lemmon.
Look at this, great footage in Lemmon. Thanks to Christian Begeman for making the road trip. This is one of the best teams in 9AA, and Timberlake woke them up early. Cody Thompson, the quarterback for Lemmon-McIntosh, has done so much this year. despite the turnover, they would get close and then punch it in.
Thompson on a sneak there after the catch by Talon Trogstead. So first quarter, and Lemmon-McIntosh in the lead 6-0. 2-point conversion there is good, so 8-0. Lemmon-McIntosh in the lead.
They love to throw the football, and that's how they stayed with Vibrant Hurley last year. A lot of people remember them from the semifinals last year, giving Vibrant Hurley the best game they had all last year, and they're not afraid to chuck the ball. And they did it tonight with Cody
Tanner Miller cruising in there, 90-yard touchdown. And Lemmon-McIntosh up 14-0 still in the first quarter. And then Thompson to Cord Beer for a 19-yard touchdown. Cowboys up 20-0 at home against Timberlake. And the final is 34-0.
Yeah,
Cody Thompson, big night for Lemmon-McIntosh.
I have been looking forward to getting highlights of Lemmon-McIntosh all year because they've been 50ing everybody. This was the toughest opponent on their schedule, and they still put up a shutout. That is a huge win for Lemmon-McIntosh, and it just shows you 9AA right now. Viborg Hurley getting a win in Parker tonight. Lemmon-McIntosh staying undefeated. Platte Geddes is right in there. Hanson's right in. There's a lot of good teams in 9AA this year. It'll be fun to see how that one plays out.
All right, that's enough highlights. We will come back.
Zone coverage it.
And toss it around for a little more post-game from the coaches when we come back with zone coverage.
Varsity Sports Live on Midco Sports Network is presented by Avera Orthopedics, South Dakota State University, and Farmers Union Insurance.
Welcome back to Varsity Sports Live. And let's toss it around a little bit, get some coach reaction. Starting at North Dakota, Central Cass at home tonight. The Squirrels beat Devils Lake 30-0. Central Cass gets to 3-1 here about halfway through the season. And let's hear from the head coach, Tommy Butler.
This is a great team win. Putting up 30 is awesome, and getting a great shutout is it's just a phenomenal way to end homecoming this week. And again, just continue our run here, hopefully deep into the playoffs.
Yeah, another shutout for Central Cass. They had a few plays go their way offensively, got just enough offense. They scored 4 times, so they did all right. But a good win for the Squirrels. All
right, in South Dakota, Janny, the game you had highlights of tonight. Roosevelt at Harrisburg, and the Riders in this battle of unbeatens. They win at 46-21 impressively.
Yeah, especially in the first half. They got out to a great start. And then in the second half, didn't necessarily take their foot off the gas, but Harrisburg did put their foot down and got up and down the field a couple times. We talked to Kim Nelson after the game about that back and forth a little bit, and here's what he had to say.
We got out really fast. Second half, I don't know if we let up, but Harrisburg responded, and I knew they would because they're a good football team, and we responded right back because, the way we responded to that was really something I was proud of. You never know what's going to happen when that happens. Sometimes the ball just keeps bouncing away from you and the game just gets away. So, Tyler Feldkamp came out huge with some turnovers, interceptions, fumble recoveries, whatever. He was all over the field tonight and was a great leader for us and a big difference maker tonight.
Couple observations. Tyler Feldkamp is pretty good. He made a few awesome plays on offense. And on defense, he's been making an incredible contribution as well. He's playing almost every play on both sides of the ball. And then he got a blocked punt, and he forced a fumble that, it's just crazy that he had the wherewithal to come out and punch one out. They really needed him in all aspects of the game today to make the edge in that game. But it was a little closer than the score, especially in the second half.
I think we had another shot of Feldkamp running by the camera tonight, looking at you and giving it. There's a great photo of
there is.
one of the games earlier this year.
Yeah, I think he has the picture of it on his Instagram too. So, but by the way, in the background there, those were fireworks. It was homecoming at Harrisburg, and they were celebrating. So somebody was celebrating.
All right, Roosevelt has Aberdeen Central coming in next.
Maybe, because they're in that limbo. So we could see some shuffling next week in the schedules. We talked to Kim Nelson about that too, and he said, we'll play anybody, even somebody from Russia if we have to. That's what he said. So we'll see.
All right, in 11AA in South Dakota, Yankton over Mitchell tonight in overtime, 30-24. This game was back and forth. Mitchell had the 12-0 lead early. Yankton kept coming back. Mitchell gets a touchdown. Josh Grosteder had 4 scores tonight. He scores late to put Mitchell in the lead, 24-21. Yankton comes back, gets a field goal on the last play of regulation to tie it at 24, and then Yankton wins in overtime, 30-24. Trevor Fitzgerald had a couple of touchdown runs in regulation for Yankton.
Yeah, let's hear what Trevor had to say after the game, and then we'll break it down a little bit.
Proud of our football team. Our football team played a heck of a game. A lot. Props to our coaches. Coaches had a great second half scheme, and props to Mitchell. They're a heck of a team. Student section, our fan, they're always huge. That's why they're one of the biggest in the state. Props to them too. They support us all the time. They're big throughout the games.
Yeah, he's been a big part of that Yankton team this year. He started out at quarterback. He plays a little bit with Rugby Reich and him, and they switch off a little bit. But they've been consistent on offense all season long. But I'll tell you what, they had to come up on defense a couple times to shut down Parker Phillips, which really nobody has this year. And Mitchell, on the other hand, now this is 2 weeks in a row that they've had a tough loss on the last play of the game. They're a good team. Yeah, I know they lost a couple, but they're a very good team.
And again, Mitchell's got to go to Brookings coming up next. Brookings did win tonight, so Brookings and Yankton at 5-0 in 11AA.
I can't wait to see Brookings, and I want to see if Mitchell, they should bounce back up off the mat next week.
And Pierre, by the way, is 3-1, still there.
Yeah, they're still, don't forget about Pierre.
Defending champs, we will see.
By the way, Pierre had McGuire-Rasky with 6 touchdowns tonight, so a big game for him.
All right, the rundown when we come back here on Varsity Sports Live. The rundown. Let's check it out. All the finals that we had cameras at tonight as Roosevelt rolls at Harrisburg 46-21.
All about the defense and special teams for Roosevelt tonight.
O'Gorman over Rapid City Central big. Tegan Schlingen 6 touchdown passes for the Knights.
Yeah, a lot of problems for Rapid City Central, but O'Gorman took advantage.
Stevens and Washington, a lot of defense. Zach Burgers with an interception there as the Warriors win 35-14.
Yeah, big second half for Washington.
Yankton comes back to beat Mitchell 30-24 on the touchdown by Corbin Solar in overtime. T-Area and Madison had it live on our network tonight. T-Area 34-14. Canton Lennox. Canton 2-2 on the year, Jandy, but still dangerous as they win 19-6 on the road.
They've played T as tough as anybody this year. I think they're still dangerous for sure.
Sioux Falls Christian over Vermillion at home, 33-23. Christian evens out at 2-2. Dakota Valley gets the Kobe June touchdown late to beat West Central 15-14.
West Central played a better game tonight, but it doesn't matter who plays the better game.
Turned it over way too many times, the Trojans did tonight. Platte Geddes over Woolsey-Wessington, 34-22.
Yeah, they did give up 1 touchdown, as you see right there, but Platte Geddes played a heck of a game.
Lemmon-McIntosh, Cody Thompson, big night for the Cowboys as they get to 5-0. All right, Bismarck. Game on our network this evening as they beat Legacy behind 5 touchdowns from Isaiah Hoos.
194 yards on the ground.
Mandan over Dickinson on Thursday night. Jace Lohman touchdown throw.
Lisbon and Oaks going at it. Lisbon pulls it out. Hunter Schultz, 196 on the ground.
And a couple of touchdowns. Ed-Edmore-Munich gets to 6-0 on the season. The Romfos were all over the place tonight as they win 47-12. Grafton at home takes out Harvey-Wells County 41-8. Spoilers get to 5-1 on the season. LaMoure-Litchville-Marion 76 points after 72 last week.
Most of those in the first quarter, Tom.
Surrey gets to 6-0. The Mustangs over Ray Powers Lake tonight, 28-6. Linton-HMB is 2-1 now on this season as they finally get a game in there. And Central Cast, the Squirrels shut out Devils Lake 30-0.
Another fun night of Friday football. Can't wait till tomorrow.
Saturday live football, Minot at Bismarck Century at 1:30 live here on Midco Sports Network.
Should be a lot of fun, and let's just keep playing football, everybody. Stay safe.